back to Less Lethal Contingencies. Alan here. So, today we are going to be shooting the BP50 by Beeman. This is one of my two BP50s. Okay, this is the one that I've modified with a home defense pistol tuning barrel, okay, with a tuning barrel extension. And also it's been honed out so that it would be able to shoot or accept the 12.7 millimeter steel ball bearings, or the largest rounds that we have in 50 caliber here. So what I'm going to be doing today is testing it after an additional mod, or what I'm hoping to be a mod anyways, and well, the verdict's still out on that one anyways. We'll see if we get any increase whatsoever. But I did make some modifications to the birdcage, to the plenum itself. I kind of oblonged, if you would, filed the circular holes in that birdcage and oblonged them out to increase, hopefully to increase some airflow in there. So we'll see if we get any gains from that, okay? I did test that in my yellow all stock BP50 yesterday, and I didn't really see any gains in it, but I wanted to give it a try in this one, given that this one's got the upgraded barrel in it. Also, I'm going to try it first with just a 12-gram CO2 cartridge in the handle. We'll be shooting kind of a sweet spot weight for ammunition for this gun, which is the 4-gram rounds. And these are less lethal ballistics. They're Vindicator rounds, okay? They call it the product Vindicator. They come in at perfect 4 grams each when you weigh these out. Okay, so I'm going to be shooting 7 of these and kind of compare it to what I was getting before I made the modified birdcage, before I modified it. So I want to see if there's any gains, like I said, on CO2. And then from there, what I'll do is I'll put an adapter in and we'll shoot high pressure air through the handle. And we'll see if we see any gains under some higher pressures, because it is possible that we may not see much on the CO2, but maybe we'll see something under high pressure air and the higher PSIs. So anyways, I don't know. We may not get anything out of this. So, but it does function with the modification. That much I proved yesterday with my all stock BP50. So, but this one now, I have taken that birdcage out of the other gun and put it into this one. And yeah, we'll see what we get. I don't know. If not, hey, whatever. We'll see what we get, right? All right. So, yeah, we're gonna test it first on CO2. I think that's what I was gonna do. Pretty sure. Make sure I get a cartridge in here. I think I put one in when I was up in the office, and I did. Okay. Yes, indeed. We have a 12-gram in the handle. All right, let's air it up. Let's get this thing going. We'll air it up. Okay. I do believe it aired up. Of course, it didn't sound super crisp or anything, but there's no leaks. I got some pressure on the trigger, so I think we're good there. Yeah, let's start off with the 4-gram Vindicators. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7 of those. And we'll be using the X radar today and see what we get for feet per second. And I'll update the video like I usually do. We'll see if we get any improvement. All right. 4-gram less lethal ballistics Vindicator rounds. BP50 with the tuning barrel extension. We'll turn the laser on. That would help. All right. 4-gram shot 1. 402 feet per second. shot 2, 394 feet per second, as that one came flying back at me on the floor. Shot 3, 398 feet per second. And I'm just going to make kind of slower shots. This way the CO2 can kind of bounce back a little bit. So far, pretty good consistency. Shot 4. Another 392 feet per second. And shot 5. Another 392 feet per second. Shot 6. 382 feet per second. A little bit of a dip there. And the last one, shot 7. 370 feet per second. So that should be all 7 of the 4-gram Vindicator rounds. Let's take a look at this. Everything looks good. No mag drop at all on this, which is something I was getting with some of the when I was running the heavy ammo, but actually had it. I want to say, was it the last video I did or 2 videos ago with this gun? Even with the 4-gram, I was getting some weird mag drop issues, but right now it seems to be okay. So, all right, so I would expect I still have some gas left in here. And what I want to do is I'm going to, although I do have steel, the 12.7 gram, 12.7 millimeter, 8.4 gram steel ball bearings, I'm going to save those for the HPA test. What I'm going to do is see if I can muster up another magazine of these 4 grams while that CO2 is kind of charging back up. And we'll see if we can't shoot off another 7 of those. There it is, 5. See what happened to the other ones. 5. Where did they go? All right, probably rolling underneath everything. So we got 5. I got a couple more probably in the drawer here. 5 and 6, 7. And these Vindicators are holding up pretty good. I gotta say, I've been reusing these for quite some time now. I've had these for months. I've used them quite a few times. And I think I had one all that time. I think I had maybe 1 split on me. So they've been holding up pretty good. 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so we're going to load another 7, another mag. I know I'll get another mag out of this. 12 gram, no problem. All right, get over there. While that CO2 is kind of charging back up. 4, 5, 6, 7. And we'll shoot off another 7 of these Vindicator rounds. 4 gram. And yeah, we'll see how it goes here. And then we'll move on to, I think, the next test, which will be high pressure air. All right, mag 2 of the 4 gram Vindicators. Mag 2, shot 1. 398 feet per second. Shot 2. 378 feet per second. Shot 3. 362 feet per second. Shot 4. 342 feet per second. Shot 5. 318 feet per second. and it's starting to dip off quite a bit now. I think our gas is getting low. What did I say that was? Shot 5, so this is shot 6. 292 feet per second. Definitely getting weak. And the last one, shot 7. Very weak. 250 feet per second. And I think that was it. Yes, indeed. All right, so 2 magazines, a total of 14 rounds of the 4-gram less lethal ballistics. So felt pretty good and strong. I mean, I think that first shot was what, 400 feet per second. So that's got to be somewhere around 28 joules, I would think, but I'll update the video. Best educated guess from the last time I tested this with these 4 grams, I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 feet per second. I was getting like 28, 29 joules, almost 29. So I don't know for sure. I mean, by the time I update the video, you know, I'll put some, I'll edit in some comments anyways, as far as if we fared better or not with this by modifying the birdcage, the air plenum, by modifying the plenum and oblonging those circular holes, you know, making them a little bigger. Again, don't know if we're really going to see a benefit on CO2. If we don't, that doesn't mean we could potentially see that benefit later. I'm working on getting an ASA for the rear of this Home Defense 24 ASA that they have out. So I'm working on getting one from AR Tactical. Since I can't order, since they won't ship to the States, I guess, you know, I guess they will to AR Tactical, but so I'm just going to order it through them. So I'm waiting to do that. Until then, tonight I'm going to try it for the first time doing high pressure air through the handle. Now there is a built-in regulator in here, just like what we see in the Pistelli X68 and also the Intrabuster Gen 2. It has a built-in regulator in addition to what's in here for a restrictor or whatever it is. Drilling it, not a good idea. You could ask Sean about that from Less Lethal for Dummies. Don't drill your restrictor in this gun. I don't know, maybe you could bypass the regulator. Maybe it might help, but I haven't done it. Probably won't, because I'm going to be pushing high pressure air through the back at some point soon, hopefully. Until then, I'm going to try it down here, just going through the regulator, going through the restrictor. Matter of fact, I'm going to try it on, I think, 1,050. I think that's what I'm going to do next, is see how these heavy 8.4 gram steel ball bearings run with a 1050 psi HPA in the bottom. So we are going to do that next. Yeah, it's going to be fun. All right, so let's degas what we have left, which nothing frosty, right? Nothing frosty at all. And we're just going to take this out of here. I don't know if you kind of got to take this out of here, since this is where I'm going to be screwed into anyway. So let's turn this thing back on. All right, so we don't need that. Instead, we are going to take one of these adapters. This one happens to be from MCS, but a bunch of places sell them. And we're going to screw in the adapter. Now, the tough part with this adapter is that you can just squeeze the mag by it. Okay, I'll show you. It's tight, right? I mean, you can just get the magazine. You got to kind of push it hard to get it by this piece. However, once I have the air tank on there, we ain't getting by the air tank. So this is one case. Even that was tough to get that out of there. So this is one case where I'm kind of going to break my rules. My typical rule when I'm plinking is don't air your markers with ammunition in them. Okay. In this particular case, I don't have much of a choice. I got to load it first, because once I get the bottle on there, I'm not going to be able to put that magazine in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my first mag of steel ball bearings. Again, these are the real heavy ones. These are the 12.7 millimeter, 8.4 gram. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 of them in here. I am going to load them in to the BP50. Actually, make it easier, less wear and tear on my magazine. I'm going to even take this off again. I am going to, right here, load up 7 of these into the gun. Now I'm going to screw this on. There we go. So I don't trip on these 4 grams that are around my feet everywhere. I am going to take my 1050, freshly pumped up, just a little bit less than 3,000 capacity. Okay. 1050, the last time I measured this with my test gauge, it was giving me 1,050. Okay. So I relabeled it 1050. And we're going to spin this 13 CI bottle into the bottom of the BP50. All right, and I'm going to air it up, and I'm going to point downrange. Okay, just as a safety. These tanks have slide checks on them, so just to make sure, I'm going to point it, since it is loaded, I'm going to point it downstream 1050 and air it up on 1050. All right. Everything sounds good. We are loaded. Okay. This is the first time I'm airing up my BP50 through the handle, 1,050 high pressure air. Okay, it's got the tuning barrel extension. We have 7 rounds of the heavy 8.4 gram steel ball bearings. And this is a first for me with this beast. All right, we'll turn the laser on, and we're going to see what we get. Okay, I do have the modified bird cage that I personally oblonged out, right? Basically just took a file to it, a round file, and opened up the holes in it to let better flow. So don't know if we're going to get any gains or not. As long as we don't get any losses, it seems to be shooting. So all right, 1,050 psi, 8.4 gram steel ball bearings, BP50 by Beeman. All right, here we go. Shot 1. 256 feet per second. 256. Sounded fine. Shot 2. 254 feet per second. Shot 3. 254 feet per second. Shot 4. Another 254 feet per second. Very consistent, as you would expect with high pressure air. What are we on? Shot 5? Shot 5. 252 feet per second. Shot 6. 254 feet per second again. And it should be the last one, shot 6. 252 feet per second. So that's wicked awesome consistency there. Really, really good. Okay, I'm going to degas, or de-air, I should say. And it ran really strong. You could hear those 8.4 gram steel ball bearings hitting that archery material. I mean, it was hitting hard. Real nice, real nice. We're going to unscrew this so that we can get the magazine out of there. All right, so that was 1,050. So we took what, 7? Yeah, seven of those 8.4 gram steel ball bearings. I started off just a little bit less than 3,000 psi. I'm at about 2,500 psi capacity now. So we didn't use much. But again, we're going through the whatever that restrictor is that's in here, okay? We don't drill out, guys, okay? And we're going through a regulator, built-in regulation. So unless you pull out the regulator, and do a bypass to it, it's got a regulator just like the X68 does and the Intrabuster Gen 2 does, okay? So it's regulating this as well. Now, that's why I want a rear ASA for this. This way we'll be unregulated, right? The only thing regulating our pressure will be this regulator right here on the bottle, okay? So it is regulating it no matter what. But shooting the high pressure air, even from the handle, obviously you got greater capacity. Obviously the air's free, right? Initial investment, but the air's free doing it this way. You got some higher pressures too, or you could potentially have higher pressures. In this case, we do, right? 1050. So what were we getting? 256, 258 maybe. I forget what the high was. But consistently 256 feet per second. So that's with that heavy ammunition. We got to be somewhere in the neighborhood again, somewhere around the 28, 29, maybe 30 Joule lock, maybe higher. I don't know. Taking a wild guess anyways on it, but I'll update the video on what we have for that. So that's the 1050. Okay. Now I want to do a mag with my other tank here, which is 1100. Okay. So let's not forget to take the magazine out, right? Because we ain't getting this magazine out with the tank on there. You can barely get it out with this adapter. So let's get that out of there. Let's drop the mag. Make sure everything's out of there. Yep, everything's out of there. Everything looks good. Okay. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Looks good. Looks good. Yeah, and I don't know if I'm going to get much. Honestly, I expect I'm probably not going to see much gain going through this because of this regulator, the built-in regulator. Where I'm expecting to see a gain is maybe in the next, in a week or two, once I get that ASA and I'm using that rear ASA with high pressure air. If I'm going to see any gains in that modification that I did, my hack, they're selling them out there. So I figured, hey, I can file it down to myself. I had an expendable BP50, right? This all stock one. So I figured, let me horse around with that one. I mean, so, and it runs. I mean, it runs just fine. Again, I don't know if I'm going to see gains at all. So, if I do, they may not be much, but I figured, hey, I like experimenting if you haven't figured that out yet. So, why not give it a try? It's something I could do. It cost me $0 to try it. So I figured, hey, and it sounded like I wasn't going to break the gun. Even if I didn't see any gains, it wasn't going to be worse or anything. So, and clearly I don't think it negatively affected the operation of this gun by any means. So, yeah, anyways, as I'm chit-chatting, long-winded tonight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so let's load up 7 again, breaking my own rules, right? But we have to do it that way because I can't get the mag in and out with the bottle on there. Hell, it's hard enough just to do it with this adapter alone. So we got that on there. This tank here is a smaller tank. Of course, I don't need a 13 CI to drive these, but this one's 1100 PSI. Recently, when I double checked these tanks with a test gauge, this one was definitely pulling 1100 PSI. Actually, even a little bit more than that, but under 1200. But it was just like a little bit over 1100. This one is a 9 CI tank. 9CI. And we are gonna air it up. I am right-handed, so let's do it this way. Do not want to drop my bottles. All right. So we are airing up this BP50 with the tuning barrel and the oblong, or maybe I should use a cool word and say ported. Yeah, the ported bird cage, or kind of like that. Kind of like when you port and polish a cylinder head or something, right? You know, when you do a valve job, you port and polish the head first. Yeah, get them to flow better. Maybe we should call this ported bird cage or ported air plenum. You know, basically I just oblong those holes, but we'll call it ported, right? All right. So we got 1100 PSI right here, high pressure air. We're going to air that up. Again, it's loaded, so we're going to point safely down yonder. Okay. And this will be a first time shooting 1100 PSI out of the handle, going through the internal regulator. Okay, she aired up all right. Okay. Turn the laser on. Okay, we got 7 steel ball bearings in there. 1100 PSI, 8.4 gram steel ball bearings. Let's shoot these 7 and see what we get for feet per second. See if we can see any additional gains. I think a high on the 1050 might have been 256 or something like that, 258. See if we see anything else here. All right, shot 1. 266. I think that is a high. 266 feet per second. Shot 2, 1100 PSI, 8.4 gram steel ball bearings. 262 feet per second. And I could be mistaken. We might have been shooting in the 260s on that last bottle. Shot number 3. 262 feet per second. Shot number 4. 260 feet per second. Shot number 5. 254 feet per second. Shot number 6. 258 feet per second. And last one, shot number 7. 254 feet per second. These things are hitting hard. So they are hitting hard. All right, that was 1100 PSI through the BP50's internal regulation. Can't wait to shoot it through the back once I get the ASA in. I'm psyched that AR Tactical is going to be carrying those Home Defense 24 BP50 ASAs. I've been going back and forth with him on an email about it. So, and he assures me that he's going to be having those on the website soon. So, all right. So we're at about 2,000 PSI now. I think I was just a little under 3,000 for this one. It dropped down a little quicker. Naturally, this is a 9CI tank. The 1050 output tank was a 13CI tank, so naturally it had more volume. So this one dropped off a little bit quicker. Yeah, good, strong shots, though. I mean, nice and strong. Nice and strong shots. Yeah. What else can I say? All right, I'll have the numbers up for that. And everything ran normally. I mean, the gun sounded strong. The gun felt strong. Nothing sounded funny at all out of it. No leaks. I did fix the leak I had yesterday. Well, that leak was actually on my orange one, my all stock one. This one here was the 011, which is actually technically a 010 O-ring on the back of the the pin there on the BP50. It's actually a 010, and that it must have took some abuse when I was taking it on and off or something. So, but I did manage to correct that just fine on there. Um, yeah, so I'm feeling like the results are going to be good. Again, I don't know if we're going to see any gains right now. But I don't think we got any losses either by running the modified bird cage. So, but time will tell on that. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you're having a great weekend, and more to come. Peace out.